to definitely more torque with DiabloSport.
60.
What if I told you you could get 650 plus horsepower out of your brand new Dodge Charger 6-pack right off of the dealership floor? What do you think about that, Butter? How'd I do?
What if I told you?
How'd I do with your intro? Stole it just for a minute. I'll give it back to you. You can have it back. I'm done using it now. Anyways, let's jump right into this and talk about that. How does that work out? And does this change your mind at all about this twin turbo i6? Well, I will assume that it doesn't, because you're not going to get the sound. But my question to you is, if I put some headphones on you, stuck you in one of these Dodge Charger 6-packs, and it was tuned for $699 in your driveway with a couple buddies on a Saturday having beers, and you stomped on this thing. Now, yes, I think you could tell it's turbo because there would be some lag at the beginning, but as you're ripped back in your seat, would you hate that car as much as you hate it now? Now, here's the deal. This is where you start typing. Some of your fingers, some of your spraining your ankles, get into the comments to say it doesn't matter how fast it is. That thing can pop wheelies and go down the track and do 8 seconds in the quarter mile, and I wouldn't care because it doesn't have a Hemi. And there's a big part of my soul that agrees with you. Believe me, that's why I have my Scat pack in front of my house to this day, and I just can't get rid of it. I keep contemplating it because I don't drive it as much, and I just can't. I feel like the Hemis are just something that we, until they come back, until I know for sure, and I see them on a dealership floor, I'm not going to believe it. Even though I've been told it, I've heard there's mules out there, I believe it. I could see the glimmer in Matt McAleer and Tim Kuniskis' eyes when I've spoken to them in person, that I just feel like they're going to announce a Hemi in these Chargers, and it's going to be glorious. And I think the 6-pack is still going to walk these things unless they bring the Hemi back in a straight-up Hellcat, let's just say a Hellcat red-eye version. People are going to be tuning the living hell out of these 6-packs right out of the gate for super cheap in their driveway on a Saturday in a matter of an hour, and you're going to have 650 horsepower freaking Dodge Charger 6-packs all over the road out of the gate. Now, if they want to throw an intake and an exhaust on these things, I mean, they're going to start approaching original 707 Hellcat power. I think it might be a little bit of a stretch to get there, but let's just say they get to 675, 680 horsepower out of one of these things, and it's relatively inexpensive to do, and they do it reliably. Would that change your mind? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is what you got to think about. Yesterday, I did a video where we talked about speccing one of these things out on Dodge.com, and I specced out my ideal version, and I decided to make this one red. So red is like $695. Black is no extra money, so you'd be under $60,000. So at $60,175, you've got a car with 550 horsepower right out of the gate, and now it's available for you to do whatever you want to do with it, with keeping in mind that anything you do to this thing, including what I'm going to share with you in a second, could very likely void your warranties. And it wouldn't necessarily void a suspension warranty or maybe an electronics warranty. I don't know, since you're plugging it into the ECM and everything else in the car, you might have an electronics warranty issue, but it would have to be related to this device. Now, you can remove this device and take the device out before you take the car to the shop, but you got to keep in mind there might be some cookies left behind that they'll be able to know that this thing was tuned with these devices. But there are people with these Rams. Remember, the Grand Cherokee came out in 2022 with the Hurricane engine. This isn't a new engine that's coming out. This thing has been out. And I went to the internet and just found some good questions from folks who have these RHOs. And this gentleman's talking about the JB4 tuner. Now, there's a couple that I'm going to share with you here. He says, I'd like to order the JB4 tuner for my RHO. Any thoughts? Is it canceling the car warranty? It very well likely is if you blow that engine up because you use this thing. The thing is there's a lot of people before you that use these. So that makes me feel better. While this is a new platform with this engine, it's not a new engine. And they've worked out a lot of bugs with it over time, which means you may be in good shape. Now, do I want to be the first guy out there blowing one of these engines? Not really. But some of you are fearless. Should I connect it alone or take it to a shop? And the comments that people shared are great. Literally, you can plug this thing in your driveway. You can go in. I mean, look at this. I'll show you a little clip here from this guy. This is pretty great. Shows you how simple this thing is.
Our main harness that we'll be installing next. So we've got our large connector. This is where we connect the main connector at the ECM. We've got this connector that plugs directly into the Cat 6 module itself. We've got that green connector that's going to go through the firewall. And then over here we've got a map sensor and a mass airflow sensor that we're going to tap into over here on the other side of the engine. So this is just going to run straight across the engine like so. So we'll reposition.
So that's it. That's simple. It's that simple to drop this thing in there. And that is the DiabloSport tuning module. So we're talking about an hour. There is a plug that has to go into your OBD port underneath your dash and to your throttle. So you will run a wire through that firewall. No big deal. I've done it a million times. So between that and a couple plugs under the hood, popping the cover off the engine, and you now jump to, this is what they're saying for DiabloSport Cat 6. This one's saying the high output models are seeing a max gain of 78 rear wheel horsepower. 78 rear wheel horsepower on premium fuel. So adds 94 foot-pounds at the rear wheels on the high output models. This is insane. The standard output models, so when the RTs come out, you're looking at picking up, I don't know, let's just say it's 50 horsepower. No, here it is. Standard output, 63 rear wheel horsepower, excuse me, meaning a 420 horsepower standard output RT. When those come out later in 2026, you're going to be taking those things to almost 500 horsepower on premium fuel out of an RT. And I'm telling you, I promise you, this is a fast car. The 550 horsepower is fast. So you're talking about cutting a 0.3 or a half a second off on 0 to 60. And I've seen this actually get tested. So the price on this thing is $699.95. Now, in reading some reviews, there are a lot of people recommending that you go with the Cat 6 by Diablo, not the JB4. But I've got a ton of great comments I've read online and in the forums that people are very happy with the JB4. A couple issues or few people had some problems. So I don't want to emphasize those, considering that the vast majority of people, like this guy, have the JB4 and they're totally satisfied. And the JB4 here is only $529. And these come with the phone interface and multiple levels. I think the Diablo has like level 1, 2, and 3 versions. And each one in the test that I watched significantly sped up the RHO in the 0 to 60 times, which means this is a fun, fast, massive upgrade for a twin turbo i6. And for the money, it's just pretty incredible. So that's what I'm thinking. I'd love to know what you all think about this. So here's the deal. The JB4 power gains up to 104 horsepower to the wheels on a stock vehicle. Improves 0 to 60 times and quarter mile times. And compatible with both the standard output and high output motors. So would you buy one of these things? I mean, this is all the versions of the Hurricane, and you better believe these companies are already planning to sell these things to all these guys who buy these Dodge Chargers. As a matter of fact, it'll be a much bigger market than it is for the trucks, I imagine. And then there's this video, which I'd love for you all to go watch and let me know what you think, but I'll just share a short clip here of this guy at Jeff Hall Photography. I'll put a link in the description below to go watch this whole video, but he does a stock versus level 1, level 2, level 3 with the Cat 6 and the Draggy on his 2025 Ram RHO.
All right, here we go. Sport mode. I don't use launch control. I just foot on brake, 3,700 RPMs, and then I go for it. So this is going to be a stock run, and then I'll do level 1, level 2, level 3, all on about 95 octane. So let's do this.
All right, let's take note of this. 5.7 seconds, 0 to 60 in a humongous truck, 13.48 seconds in the quarter mile. Now let's go look at our level 1.
30. 60.
All right, there you are, 4.38 seconds. That is a significant improvement with this Diablo Cat 6 tuning module, and 12.81 seconds in the quarter mile in a humongous truck. I don't know. Let's go check level 2. All right, level 2, 4.27 seconds and 12.69 in the quarter mile. Let's look at level 3.
3, 2. Definitely more torque with DiabloSport.
60.
Look at that, 4.13 seconds from, what was it, over 5 seconds to start with this simple plug-in device, DiabloSport Cat 6, on this RHO with the twin-turbo, high-output Hurricane engine. You went to 1250 in the quarter mile, 413, and 0 to 60. I don't know. I would love to know what you all think about this capability that's now going to be in the hands of anyone who buys these Dodge Charger 6-packs, where in the past it took a hell of a lot more with the Hemis to get more power out of them like this. Certainly getting this much more power and then just doing exhaust and an intake. And I mean, tell me that people aren't going to buy these things. Even if us Hemi guys all protest and don't buy them, tell me that nobody's going to buy this thing. I think they're going to buy this thing. And as long as they don't start blowing up all over the place, they're going to go crazy. And people already have. I mean, it's happening with these trucks. And I imagine thousands of these because, you know, no question Diablo couldn't sell any of these Cat 6 devices if they didn't sell a lot of them. So I imagine they're out there saturating. There's a lot of groups online also, and I couldn't find a big string of anybody having major issues. So we may be looking at some, I mean, tire-ripping, ridiculously fast Dodge Chargers out of the gate for $60,000. And if you negotiate that price, which I'm going to do if I even consider buying one of these things, and let's say I get the $60,000 spec and I negotiate that thing off $2,000 or $3,000, I might be looking at $57,000, $58,000 and having a 650 plus horsepower machine if I'm willing to take the chances and risk the warranty voiding by throwing this thing on there. But so many people are doing it and not having issues that it's going to be tempting not to do it. I mean, anything. Hell, a pedal commander could void your warranty. Anything you do. So this seems like something that's being proven as being safe. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Does this make you like it more, or do you still hate it? Or is this something you're excited about and you want to get one as soon as possible, get the Cat 6 or the JB4 device, plug that thing in your garage, and go out there and freaking blow some doors off some some Hemi cars. I hate even saying that. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
And what if I told you there's going to be a brand new Hemi V8 engine coming